To say that Blue Lock Season 2 is disappointing to the fans would be a gross understatement. A lack of actual animation, endless still frames, and a disastrous production schedule is what this season has been so far. Honestly, some of those Blue Lock manga edits look like they were animated by Mappa compared to this season. Now, with the under 20 match just around the corner in the next freaking episode, I wanted to make this video to answer a burning question. Can Blue Lock Season 2 be saved? Probably not.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
More on that later. Even though you shouldn't expect any drastic changes to the anime, episode 4 of this season at least surprised me, as it turned out to be the best episode so far, even though the bar isn't that high. Episode 4 centered on Kamavinga, who had his tryout match alongside Dennis Bergkamp and Edgar Davids. Their matchup was against Team A, and Rio was determined to prove himself, not only to Ego, but more importantly to his boyfriend Nagi. If I could describe episode 4 in one word, it would be decent. Just decent. Was it better than episodes 2 and 3? Of course, way better. But even with the improvements, there were still some glaring issues like the usual moving PNGs. However, one thing I'll give this episode credit for is that there was actual movement this time. It wasn't a lot and some parts did look janky, but hey, at least we got something. When it comes to the CGI, I'm kind of mixed. The CGI this season is definitely better than it was in season 1, especially with the way it's used for footwork. The CGI feet look good, but everything else around it, that's where the issues start. Thankfully, they didn't use that awful CGI running from episode 3, but when the characters are still frames and the ball is CGI, it can look really awkward. Like Rin's chemical reaction with Aryu and Space Dandy, that did not look good. The character who got done really dirty in this episode was Yukimiya. They absolutely butchered his introduction. Yukimiya is a mobile striker, someone who uses technical skill and pace to break past defenses. He's known for his one-on-one Emperor style where he can dribble past almost anyone, but in the anime his scenes look like a PNG slideshow. No aura at all. What made it even worse was how they showed Butcher's smooth dribbling from season 1 right before this. That was a violation. Watching them do Yukimiya like this was tough because his whole thing is dribbling and speed. He's the second best dribbler in Blue Lock after Butcher, and seeing him like this was a shame. One of the reasons why football is called the beautiful game is because of its unpredictability, drama and artistry. Everything from the tactics and formations to the goals and the individual brilliance of players makes it the greatest sport on the planet. And I bring this up because the under 20 match will have all of that. Sai Itoshi has my favorite playstyle in the entire series, and manga readers know what I'm talking about. His dribbling, passing and shooting is just peak. Sai Itoshi is really him. But the fault of the animators using still frames to adapt Sai, it's honestly horrific. With so many big moments in the under 20 match and seeing how they handled Yukimiya, I'm worried that the characters who rely on dribbling will get it the worst. Sai, Yukimiya and Rin. If you know, you know. And don't even get me started on how they're about to do my boy Bachura. Lord have mercy. These characters need a lot of movement and it's upsetting that we might not get that. On the other hand, Rio's awakening was done really well. It's the best moment of the season so far. The special effects and the line work looked pretty good, and it's kind of funny how the animators decided to put more focus on Rio's awakening than on the main character himself. As usual with Blue Lock, the voice acting and the OST elevated the episode, and this is probably the standard that we can expect from the under 20 match. But let's talk about the U20 match itself. We recently got some new promotional material for the upcoming U20 arc, and yeah, guys.
Big man thing, yeah? It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.
Put aside all of that copium and any hope you had for this season because it's done. If someone told me that this anime was based on the best-selling manga of 2023, I don't think I'd believe them. Like I mentioned before, episode 4 set the standard for the season's quality, and I wasn't wrong about that. This season is basically a colored manga. Blue Lock fans, we've lost. This season is cooked. I never thought the best arc in Blue Lock, scratch that, the best arc in sports anime would look like this. Even though there's been a visual upgrade, without the proper movement and animation, good visuals, directing and voice acting alone aren't enough to save this season. 8-Bit Studio messed up a generational event. I'm really hoping and praying that 8-Bit Studio has so many scheduling conflicts so that they can finally drop Blue Lock. I don't want to hear that season 3 is coming in 2025 or even in 2026. If the production committee isn't going to give the animators enough time or budget to adapt the source material properly, I don't even want a season 3 at all. They cut so many corners and frames with this season, and if 8-Bit tries to cover season 3, I will damn near collapse. Episode 5 is essentially the calm before the storm, and I think it was handled pretty well. The best scene in the episode wasn't even about Team Blue Lock starting 11, it was Sai choosing Shido. That moment was translated from the manga extremely well, and the tone was perfect. The intensity between Sai and Shido's interactions was really good, and Rin's terrified expression while Ego explained the situation gave me goosebumps. Aiku's introduction was solid too, despite some awkward animation here and there. The captain of the under-20 team plays as a centre back, and this guy is no joke. He's a 19-year-old who looks like a grown-ass man and is one of Japan's brightest talents, even getting an offer from a Serie A team. He's the focal point of the under-20 team, which is entirely built around him, so not only will Blue Lock have to deal with Sai and Shido, but also Aiku. And shout out to his voice actor Satoshi Hino, who also voiced Rengoku in Demon Slayer. He was just perfect casting for Aiku. Now, the starting 11 for Blue Lock was announced, featuring the top 6 players with Ren Itoshi as the lone striker. Since the team is built around Ren, Ego decided on a 4-5-1 formation, and here's the breakdown. Gagamaru is the goalkeeper, Bachira and Chigri as fullbacks, responsible for carrying the ball up to midfield to create scoring opportunities while also defending. Nico and Aryu will play as centre backs. Aryu with his height will intercept aerial balls, while Nico uses his intelligence and spatial awareness to anticipate passes and shots from the U20 forwards. Karasu is the defensive midfielder and will essentially be the Rodri of the team. He will control the flow of the game, transitioning from defense to offense with his analytical skills and ball control. For the attacking players, Rin, Nagi, Isagi, Yukimiya and Otoya will make up the offensive line. Each role caters to their unique strengths. Nagi uses his ball control to trap and shoot, while Isagi acts as a playmaker, positioning himself to score or support his teammates. Ego's goal with this lineup is to play super aggressive attacking football, where every player uses their abilities to their fullest. The 4-5-1 formation provides versatility by allowing the players to crowd the midfield to make it tough for defenders to track movements, and the build-up play will allow for any attacker to bring the ball forward and either pass or try to go for a goal themselves. This lineup is balanced between attack and defense, giving Blue Lock a fortress at the back while shooting missiles at the front. Obviously, a real life team of only forwards would get cooked, but hey, it's anime, you have to suspend your disbelief. Ego also introduced the concept of the flow state and emphasized that reaching flow is essential for winning the game. The flow state or the zone isn't only limited to sports. Anyone can achieve flow when they're doing something just challenging enough to stay engaged without being too hard or too easy. I remember reading this chapter and praising Kaneshiro for how well he explained the flow state. Blue Lock broke it down better than some educational content out there. So with this, we've wrapped up the third selection arc, and now we wait for the upcoming massacre, that is the under 20 match. Ever since this season started and disappointed everyone, I've been seriously considering dropping it all together, but a part of me just can't, at least not yet. Watching Blue Lock season 2 feels like supporting Manchester United. No offense to any Man United fans watching, but it's true. No matter how bad the coach was or how shit the current squad is, a true United fan isn't going to stop supporting their team, and that's exactly how I feel about Blue Lock season 2. Yes, I know the animation is barely there, and I know that they're going to mess up all of the hype moments, but I'm still sticking with it for now. Plus, I'm genuinely curious to see just how bad things get, because honestly, so far I've been laughing my ass off at how rough this season has been. There are some Blue Lock fans claiming that they're done with the anime, but let's be real, these are the same people who will tune in next week and the week after that and so on, because Blue Lock season 2 is tough to watch, but it's not unwatchable. If Berserk fans could sit through Berserk 2016, we can sit through this season of Blue Lock. Thank you to everyone who watched the video. Like, comment and subscribe. Let me know which moments you think that the studio are going to ruin the most. Be sure to issue a spoiler warning before commenting so anime only watchers don't get spoiled. As well as that, also let me know if you're still sticking with the anime and why, or if you've dropped it completely. Until next week, stay blessed.